Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors. I am Mike Avery. Oh, is my shirt backwards? Let's change it. There. Now it looks right. There was something about that shot I couldn't figure out, but now it looks good. Now all is right in the video and social media and online world because the logo is right. Hello, Matthew. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. Lonnie, nice to have you with us as well. Good evening. Matt Laban, who we've had on the Offshore podcast before. Thanks for joining us. Richard, always a pleasure to have you along with us, my friend. Tim, good evening to you. How are things at the farm with all your critters? Ed's with us. Ryan's with us. Craig is with us, always calling me Captain Mike. Okay today. Jason's along with us from Deer Camp in Iosco County. Jason, I was going to say, what are you doing? You should be hunting, but no, you shouldn't be hunting right now. I'm glad you're not hunting right now. Avery, nice to have you along with. I've talked to a couple of Averys here in the last couple of days. My mic sounds tinny. I don't know what to say. I'm using this mic. I don't know what to say. I'll try unplugging it. Let's see what happens. Did that help at all? Tim, did that help at all? I had audio problems this morning too. It's like 2020 is just a weird year. Oh, hey, John. How was my opening day? Deer count down 59%. How was my opening day? I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes here. You can hear me, but is my audio tinny? I don't know why that would be. Except Tim has such good ears that he can probably hear something. Tim can probably hear things that only dogs. Oh, Tim. You are a genius. You are an absolute genius, Tim Binns. Sounds good now, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, you were picking me up through my laptop. And nobody here was astute enough to pick it up, including myself, except for Tim Binns. That's what it was, Tim. I had to make, yep. Oh, there we go. Okay. All good. Anyway, my friends, it sounds good. Where's my comment I want to get rid of here? Good evening, John. How are you? Dave says, that's better. Craig says, sounds better. Anyway, my friends, this is Wednesday Night Live. It's something I do every Wednesday night here online on my Mike Avery Outdoors Facebook page, on my YouTube channel, and on Instagram as well. I'm sorry, on Twitter as well. Working on Instagram, and I think possibly there is something with this new version of Safari. I can't use this StreamYard platform with Safari, but there's something with the new Safari that might allow me to do something more. Dina says, hey, Mike and all the Wednesday night outdoor friends. Dina, nice to have you along with us. Well, Larry, it's great to see you as well. Even though I can't, it's nice to have you with us in Oil City checking in. Somebody asked how my opening day was. I got to tell you something. I got my deer hunting mojo back. And I consider it a real blessing. And I think what it took was getting out in the woods with my son, James, my grandson, Trent, my granddaughter, Addison, and hunting earlier with or shooting earlier with my grandson, Carter. I've been playing around with Chrome. In fact, I'm on Chrome right now because StreamYard will not work on Safari. It will only work on Chrome. Thank you, Jim. Jim says he always enjoys the show. I appreciate that. And Johnny Bowler says he's ready for a ham. Johnny, some people would say you are a ham. But you know, I'm just kidding. You know, I love you, brother. I am back in a strong case of like with deer hunting. I'm not in love with it, Maybe I am in love with it. But I'm getting my mojo back, and it feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. It seems strange at first to be out there in a blind with a 30-06. Look at this. Scott Dondenu from Garber Chevy Midland. By the way, have you seen the pictures of my new 2021 Silverado? Now that I've got the graphics. Button buck. That's a question for a different show. Graphics. Got the leveling kit underneath from Suspension Max. And then I got bigger tires from Mike's Tire Sales from Mike Hampton. I think it looks great. All right, well, let's address this question here. Steve says, an important question. He's confused. Opening night, he saw a deer mounting another deer. Tried to get it in my scope. It was too dark for the scope. Back to the naked eye and saw one of the two run away. You shot the doe at 30 yards while field dressing. It turns out to be a button buck. Question, was the button buck mating earlier or getting mounted by a nicer buck? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Can anybody else help us out? I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that. If the button buck was... Maybe it's a button buck with a gender identification problem. Matthew, if you haven't seen pictures of my truck, check here on the Facebook page or my Instagram feed, and you can see pictures of it. It's a real sweet truck. That 2021 Silverado, and it's the guys at Garber Chevy just took care of me. That's for sure. You'll take me back into the deer hunting realm. Yes, Ron, I took a rifle out. And here's why I took a rifle. Originally, I was going to take my recurve out because, as many of you know, because I've talked about it ad nauseum, one of my goals was to take a big doe with a recurve by this fall, and I hadn't been able to do it yet. So I was going to take a recurve out during gun season, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a 30-06. Yesterday was the 4th anniversary of my dad's passing. And so that's been weighing on me for the last few days. Around this opening day of deer season, my mind starts to go that direction because he's the guy who taught me how to deer hunt. And he used to deer hunt with a 30-06. So last year I bought myself a cheap Remington 783 bolt action 30-06 because in my mind, my dad hunted deer with a 30-06. So that's what a deer rifle should be. So I got the 30-06. I took it into the woods because I wanted to be a part of this whole Michigan deer season firearm opener tradition. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't shoot anything with it yet, but I'm going to try. Hey, I got to say hi to Ron St. Louis. How you doing, Ron? Ron St. Louis, Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters. Let's pray we can come back in August, Ron. Let's pray. Your spring hunt, who knows? Harry, it is legal to hunt with a bow during rifle season. Absolutely. The only caveat is you have to wear blaze orange because you're hunting during the gun season. So you can use a bow. You just have to wear blaze orange. Got a nickname for my 30-06? Deer rifle? No, I don't. You liked my other truck. Johnny, if you liked the other truck, you're going to love this truck. The Orange Army at 30-06 in hand. Good on you, Mike. It just seemed right. And I got to tell you, opening night, and you know how crappy the weather was on opening day, right? I mean, it was pretty darn miserable. My grandson Trent shot a big doe. I mean, a monster doe. I don't know how old she was, but she was a tank. And so we're tracking her that night, all four of us, James, my son, Trent, Addison, and me. And they're doing the work. I'm just screwing around behind him with a camera, my phone camera. And it was so much fun. And when they recovered that animal and I took some pictures of Trent over this doe, I'm thinking, you know what? This feels really good. This feels like it's something I should be doing. And then the next night, we all hunted again the next day. My son James went out and he shot a big buck. I mean, like a 3.5-year-old big bodied buck. It was a half rack. If you saw the pictures of it, there was a nub on the one side, like maybe it broke off last summer or something like that. I guess we're never going to know. Scott says, Why didn't I think of this? Scott says that's why they call it a firearm season, so you can use a firearm. Oh, that's a good point. But Scott, I've got my deer hunting mojo back. Last year, right when I was hunting at your place, I told you I'm trying to get back into it. I'm trying to get my love back for it, and it's happened. And what it took was hunting with my family. And it took me to push away all the other stuff, all the crap about the social media, the big buck shaming, the mandatory antler point restrictions, the trying to hunt like a TV show where you name your bucks and all that stuff that I just can't stand. That's what it took. It took me putting that stuff apart, getting back to the basics, being out in the woods, wearing orange on November 15th with a gun across my lap, hunting with my family. And that's what it took. And I loved it. And I'm back. He's back. It bothered me when I lost my love for deer hunting. It really bothered me. But that's why I was working on it. We are going to give away a ham, but we haven't done it yet. In fact, in 3 minutes, there you go. Family, friends, deer camp food, and the outdoors is what it's all about. The deer is a bonus. Amen, brother. The deer is just a bonus. Although, no, I'm the last one in the family who hasn't shot a deer. Carter, grandson, shot a deer. Addison, granddaughter, shot a deer. Trent, grandson, shot a deer. James, son, shot a deer. Guess who that leaves? The old bald-headed man. Ryan says, welcome back, Mike. Thank you. In 3 minutes, we're going to give away a Michigan brand ham. Let's make sure that Nick Grillo is with us, though. Nick, my friend, are you here? Gary's checking in from Cedar Rock. Now, he says that Cedar Rock because that's basically where I grew up. New rule, no nothing in the blind, just hunt. Absolutely. Did you see the pictures of that cool old blind that I found out there on this property that we're hunting? I better step up my game if I'm going to keep up with the kids. You bet. Still looking for Nick Grillo, my friend. Are you along with us? If not, we will assign somebody else to play the role of Nick tonight. You haven't, Mike. I'm just about in the same boat. There he is. You haven't seen anything brown since the opening day of bow season. Mike says, I'm not too far behind you. There's our friend Nick. Hang tight, Nick. In 2 minutes. Lori, he's here. In 2 minutes, we're going to start the contest. I will give you plenty of notice. Here's how it works, by the way. If you've won something in the last couple of weeks, please don't enter. When I open it up to comments, give us a comment on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays, but I'm going to ask you this. Please don't make a comment like, I'm going to give it to a needy family or I'm going to give it to a poor family. That is obviously an honorable thing to do. And if that's what you want to do, God bless you. But when you make a comment like that, it is just about impossible for Nick to choose a winner. So please stay away from that type of comment, even though that is your intent. Hey, Elliot. I saw that, Elliot. Was that the one you shot that was bedded down in the bean field with the doe when you went in there in the morning? Curtis, who is only 57, is a young man. He says, I wear red wool during hunting season, carry a 30-30 and sit on the ground. It's simple and fun. And that's what I'm rediscovering. When I backed away from all the noise and backed away from all the fighting and backed away from all the social media pressure and backed away from the bickering and backed away from the mandatory antler point restrictions and got back to the basics of hunting with my family, it all came back to me. Ryan's seeing more bucks than does. Same for the, okay. All right, here we go. It was the one. That was a beautiful buck, my friend. All right, you have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham starting right now. Make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. My good friends, the Grillo family from Michigan brand, have been extremely dangerous. What am I looking at? Extremely generous. No, Linda, it's not. You have to wear orange. And I was assuming that he was wearing an orange hat or something like that. No, red's not legal anymore. Oh, look at Jason. Jason makes a good one. I'd love to ham it up with a Michigan brand ham because I'm just a ham. What a knee slapper. That is pretty good one, Jason. The Grillo family at Michigan Brand has been extremely generous with Mike Avery Outdoors and the Outdoor Magazine show. Each week now, starting in the early week of November, they are giving away a Michigan Brand ham for the holidays. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving, right? You don't have to have turkey. You can have a ham. The website, michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. My grandson, Carter, let's look at some of these. Born in Michigan, Michigan made, be a Michigan man for life. At deer camp now, maybe a ham. What's this one? Never had a Michigan Brand. Where'd it go? Hey, there's Dennis. Hey, Ace. I'm a ham too and love to eat one. Hey, big fella. I love it when you do that, Bill. You know that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Piles from Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, you see his comment right here. He says we're going to have an Ohio Outdoor Magazine deer camp next year. Bill, I got people holding my feet to the fire. We got to make that happen. Ham it up on your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Matt. Love to try some. 1 minute on your comments for the Michigan Brand ham. Bill Piles, even though you are a Buckeye, you could get in on this. We accept some Buckeyes, and you're one of them, Bill. You're part of the family. Chris says he loves the hams. We have a ham every holiday. Easter, not every holiday. Born ham you are. Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and I think on New Year's, we always have a Michigan Brand ham. 30 seconds on your comments about why you want to win a Michigan Brand ham. Nick Grillo standing by to judge your comments. Aw. Only, I saw a joke one time. If you ask a guy to make that sound, aw, he can't do it. But a woman can go, aw, or however it is, and it sounds just perfect. Ohio rocks for whitetail. Indeed, they do. 10 seconds. Here we go. 9 seconds on the Michigan Brand ham. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contest is over. It did start out sounding like a doe grunt, didn't it? A doe call. We had, between Trent and I, we hunted, not last night, the night before, but we had a big doe right between us. She was blowing like crazy, drove us crazy. Wanted to get a shot at her to take her out of our misery. You know what I mean, right? Cross the Mackinac Bridge, deer numbers down 59%. A big buck grunt. Kids in the other room says, what's that noise? That's that Avery guy. Cliff checking in from Memphis. How are things in the beautiful city of Memphis, Michigan? Waiting on our friend Nick Grillo to choose. If he's already done it, I haven't seen him. It sounds like a three horsepower outboard. That was a ham dinger. Steve Anthony is our lucky ham winner tonight. Steve Anthony. Congrats, Steve, for winning this week's Michigan Brand ham. And a big round of applause for both Steve and Nick Grillo for making the Ham for the Holidays contest available to us every week. Steve, if you would send me a private message with your shipping address, and I'll get it off to Nick. And you can hopefully have this Michigan Brand ham for Thanksgiving. Even though you're supposed to eat turkey, you could eat a Michigan Brand ham too. All right, speaking of Michigan Brand, tomorrow, we're not going to meet up, but Nick and I have arrangements where I'm going to pick up my grandson Carter's venison that we had Michigan Brand make up for us. They made some jerky, some hunter sticks, and some summer sausage. And I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. And Carter is so excited. Oh, Steve says you could have his ham. I don't think he said that. But it never hurts to try, right? Okay, a couple of things I want to talk about. I talked about my renewed interest and maybe even love for deer hunting now. And I honestly, I couldn't be happier. I don't know if you saw the picture of me and James and two of my grandkids all standing there in Hunter oranges. We're getting ready to go out into the blind at opening day. There's just something magical about it. And it's exactly what I needed. And it's exactly how it had to happen. But the other good news, aside from Avery finding his interest again in deer hunting, is there are more people than recent history. License sales are up. I hope you didn't try to buy a license from the Michigan DNR on November 14th because that system was down. Lori, you're getting ahead of me, girl. You're getting ahead of me. I'll come back to it. You can tell our regular viewers here, can't you? They know the routine. So we got more people involved in the outdoors. That's absolutely wonderful. Well, since Lori Card of Wild Card Outdoor Adventures wants to know who's on the show this week, since Bill Hoffman, the most interesting man in Michigan, isn't here, here's who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week. You know what, Bill? Right. That is, I'm stammering. You're right. How do I like the 783? Ron, I like it, but I'm not enough of a rifle guy to be a good judge. Now, if you were asking me about bows, not compound so much anymore, but a crossbow or a recurve, I could talk to you somewhat knowledgeably. When it comes to rifles, I knew I wanted a 30-06. I knew I wanted a bolt action, and I found the 783 for a good price. Am I happy with it? Yes. Will I shoot it more than a dozen times a year? No. So I'm probably not the best judge of that. Here's who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week. First, Kenny checking in from the UP. Avery. Kenny didn't want to give his last name, and I respect that. But he tells the story about having a close encounter with wolves up in Gogebic County. That they actually ran him right out of his hunting spot. Then Dave Gould. I got to go to a hot card game. Johnny, keep your wallet in your pocket, buddy. You bought a license for the first time in a couple of years this year, bought a 10 millimeter, want to try to get something. A 10 millimeter. You're a handgun hunter. You are a stud, dude. Dave Gould talking about a 4th grade deer camp program in the Clare Public Schools that they're taking statewide to get kids involved in the outdoors. Then Larry Verbowski of Suspension Max, family-owned, Michigan-based Suspension Max, talking about the leveling kit they put in my truck, 2.5 inches in the front, 1.5 inches in the back, and their services. If you drive a truck, you've noticed. I don't care how nice they are. Chevys, Fords, Dodge. They're all beautiful trucks these days, but out of the factory, they all run nose down. They look like they're running downhill, and it drives me crazy. So I have the front end brought up a little bit. I think it looks cooler. Plus, I can put bigger tires underneath them. And actually, I put Mike Hampton from Mike's Tire Sales put on Falcon Wild Peak 295 60R20s. In hour number 2, Joe Marion, retired Coast Guardsman, charter captain, avid hunter and angler, talks about how to stay safe on the water in late fall and the early ice fishing season. Then you're going to want to hear this one, Ian Fitzgerald from MUCC with an update on the commercial fishing negotiations. And walleye, lake trout, and perch are still on the table. No pun intended. This week's Ask Avery segment, I'll come back to in just a second. And then Mark Martin, Michigan's Mr. Walleye, wraps it up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. This week's Ask Avery segment from Jeff. Jeff sent me an email. Sorry, I need some help here. Jeff says, I was wondering if you could ask Ali Shakur, the walleye and science guy, if a fish breaks off a lure, will it live? For instance, I'm using a Rapala with 3 treble hooks and a big pike hits it and it breaks off. Will it live or sink and die? Ali says this. Generally speaking, hooking mortality in northern pike is less than 10%, actually more like 5%. There doesn't seem to appear to be a significant difference in mortality being different gear types, a single hook, a small treble, or a large treble, or multiple hooks. It doesn't seem to matter. Where the fish is hooked is much more important. Externally fished hook or a fish hooked in the mouth have very little mortality. If you get it down in their guts or in their gills, they're more likely to die. Muskie can be less hardy than pike. Most species we see here in Michigan are fairly hardy, unless they're spawning, they're in a weird water temp, they're in a polluted area or something. Walleye are pretty tough. Salmon are tough. Pike are pretty tough. The hook location is more important. So that's this week's Ask Avery. Yes. It's a 34-ish. It's on the high side of 34. Yeah. Is he a good guy, Josh? I can't figure out if he's a friend of ours or not. It is a big tire, but you know what? It's $295. Do they make a 305 or do you have to go right to a 315? I think I had 305s before. I would have liked to have tried to sneak a 305 under there. How's Dave doing? He's feeling better. Thank you, Dave, for asking. It was a good question. I think Jeff for asking. By the way, if you want to pose a question to the Ask Avery segment, send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. You can ask a question for me, of me, or you can direct it at somebody else like Jeff did for Ali Shakur. DNR people, sometimes look at you can call the DNR, you can email them, but you're probably, unless you are able to get through to somebody, you're probably not going to get your question answered right away. If you pose it to me, I will probably have a better chance of getting through because I can get around the back door and I know how to reach people. Bill Hoffman, Lori Card played the role of Bill Hoffman tonight by asking me, hey, who's on the radio show this week? Says Rob Miller just left his house. He's the best neighbor ever. So you got Bill Hoffman here and you got Rob Miller here. Bill Hoffman, the most interesting man in Michigan. Rob Miller, the guy who started the deer tracking craze here in Michigan. I want the house right here. I want the house right between these two guys. That would be pretty cool. I have just a couple of minutes left. I'm going to wrap up a little early tonight because I have to take care of something. So let's see what we can slide in, squeeze in, sneak into these next 3 minutes. And a taxidermist on the other side. I want to be neighbors with you guys, although I love my neighbors here. I got great neighbors. I don't know how good a job I do, Dave. I mean, I tell you what, I rely on you folks. Help to keep me informed. Like, I think it was Josh that's been on me. Hey, we need an update on the commercial fishing issue. And I kind of forgot about it because it's been going on forever. It's like the Asian carp thing. We've been hearing about Asian carp for 15 years and it feels like nothing's getting done. Well, the commercial fishing negotiations have been going on for it seems like a couple of years and nothing's happening. And will it happen during this lame duck session of the state legislature? That's the hope. Well, thank you, my friend, Bill. Bill, okay. What we're going to need, Bill, and you know this better than I do, but pretty soon we're going to need a tentative date or a date so people can start making their schedules for next year because I had so much interest. I had so much interest when I talked about coming down to Ohio and doing a camp with you. I know we can fill it. And people are asking me, hey, Avery, what are the dates? What are the dates? I need to set them aside. So Bill Piles, it's in your ballpark, my friend. Will we have a wolf hunt? Oh my goodness gracious. David. It's so nice to have you on here. This guy right here, Dave Wertheimer, I've known him 86, 96, 2006, 2016. I've known him for 45 years. 45 years. He was the first guy I met when we were both freshmen at Ferris. And I walked up to him and I had a question. He says, I don't know, I'm brand new here too. We ended up being roommates for years. How cool. Dave, it's so nice to have you along with us. And I tell you, I want you and Ace and maybe even Carl next year. I want you to come up to Saginaw Bay and let's go walleye fishing on the Angler Quest. The 3 bills set on his desk since February. You don't see him as being on our side. Thank you, Josh, for that insight. I appreciate that. You bought some freaking pickles. They are good. They certainly are. They certainly are. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, next week would work great. Sure. Absolutely. Lori says that was before Ferris was a university. It was barely a college. We had Ewa Glaben still hanging around the campus. And if you went to Ferris, you know Ewa Glaben's name. Did they have books? No. They used to chisel the lessons into stone, smart guy. I shoot out of my recurve, I shoot the Full Metal Jackets, which is the aluminum and carbon composite. I'm shooting the 5mm FMJs. What area am I hunting this weekend? I'm hunting Midland County. In fact, I hope to hunt tomorrow night. I've still got, there's a doe out there somewhere with my name on it. It just doesn't know it's got my name on it. Hi from Wheeler. How are things in Wheeler? Will we have, I want to go back to this real quick. Will we have a wolf hunt? Of course, boy, that's a $64,000 question, isn't it? They've been delisted well, they're scheduled to be delisted at the federal level. That's supposed to happen in June. And then the antis will crawl out from under their rocks and they will fight it in the courts. So we'll have to deal with that. Then the DNR, the NRC, and the state legislature is going to have to get the fortitude and the desire to push for it. So will we have a wolf hunt? I believe we will have a wolf hunt here in Michigan. It's certainly not going to be in 2021 or probably not even 2022, but I believe we will. The wolves, Stu says the wolves were running tonight. Should go back to Ferris and check out the Card Wildlife Education Center. Lori, I would love to do that. I would. Just got a note from Steve. Wow, you guys just made me and my buddy's year by picking my comment for the ham. Wonderful. Oh, that's nice. I'm not going to read you the rest of it, but Steve is doing something very, very nice. Well, yes. Scott, you're an old guy too. The Alibi, the Creek, Schuberg's. Dave Wertheimer used to be a DJ at the Alibi. And I'm not going to go down this path. But anyway, Dave, nice to have you along with us. Let's get together and go fishing. My friends, nice to have all of you along with us. You can always reach me. Email Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I appreciate you being with us. Sorry for cutting it a little bit short tonight, but I got to take care of a couple things. And as always, a pleasure to have you along with us. Have fun in the woods. Have fun on the water. Listen to the radio show this weekend. Send me your pictures. And I'll talk with you next Wednesday night for another edition of Wednesday Night Live.